Hello friends, myself Dr. Jyoti Shegokar. I welcome you all in my YouTube channel Dr. Jyoti Dhumade Shegokar, which is made for the engineering chemistry, and our today's topic of discussion is EDTA method. Now EDTA is nothing but ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, that is EDTA, and now its use is to determine hardness from the water sample. So hardness determination is the work of this EDTA method. Now this EDTA is a particular reagent. It is a tetraacetic acid. So it is a particular type of reagent which is used to determine how much hardness is present in the sample of water. Now for this, there are different steps to carry out this particular method. So, once this is the structure of EDTA, once this has been understood, then the next process will be very easy. So, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid, it is having ethylene molecule, CH2 double bond CH2, then diamine, two amino groups are attached, and with it the four acetic acid groups are there. So as this EDTA is a very much stable type of molecule, to make it more stable, these two different hydrogen from the two opposite side are replaced by sodium type of ion to form disodium salt of EDTA. Disodium salt of EDTA, which is most stable but reactive also on the particular metal ion. Now, when any metal ion comes in contact with this EDTA, disodium salt of EDTA, it forms complex. So, this is the particular property of this particular molecule. So, that's why it is being used for the formation of the complex with metal ion. Now, from where this metal ion comes? As we are using this method for determining hardness, the hardness causing salt, we know that, is having a positively charged metal ions. For example, calcium chloride, calcium sulfate, calcium carbonate, calcium bicarbonate, all they are having calcium positive ion, Ca dipositive ion. So this is a metal ion. Like that, magnesium, Mg dipositive, like that, ferrous, Fe dipositive. So these are all the metal ions. So whenever they comes in contact with this total molecule of disodium salt of EDTA, it forms a complex, and that complex is very much stable. Now see here, on this nitrogen, as it is a nitrogen, it is having a lone pair on it after formation of a bond. So this lone pair is always there on this nitrogen. So as soon as the Ca, just consider that Ca dipositive, or we can write here Mg dipositive, or we can, for sake of convenience, we can write there M dipositive ion. So this dipositive ion and these different ions on the nitrogen, they can form such type of bond with this positive charge ion. We will consider Ca is the ion, while this sodium is also get replaced. Now we can see here that when this sodium is replaced, here when sodium is removed, here there is a formation of negatively charged ion. When here there is a hydrogen is removed, here there is a formation of negatively charged ion. Here also hydrogen and sodium can be removed to form negatively charged ions. So in this way, when these different type of oxygen forms bond with this Ca, there is a formation of such type of bond. So why I am showing these arrows? It is having one reason, that the lone pair of electron will be shared towards calcium. So that's why it is called as a coordinate bond. One of the most coordinate bond, one of the most stable bond is formed here, and in this way this is the structure of EDTA and metal ion complex. So we can say it as a Ca EDTA complex or M EDTA complex or Mg EDTA complex, like that. So as it is having such a tendency, this EDTA is to be used to determine hardness from the sample of water. Now next we will see that how this process is going on. So once you just know this structure, it will be very easy to understand. Now after that, point wise we will see that how this method can be explained. It is a somewhat lengthy method we can say, but it is very easy to understand. So very first point is its principle of EDTA method. Now in this, when EDTA comes in contact with metal ion, it forms complex in 1:1 proportion. That is called as a principle of it. When a molecule of EDTA comes in contact with metal ion, which is a hardness causing ion, it forms a complex, and that's why it is called as a complexometric method, and this reagent is called as a complexometric reagent. And this process in which this complex is formed, that complex is in the ratio 1:1, means one metal ion will be entrapped by one disodium salt of EDTA molecule. So in this way, this will come under the principle. Simply in one sentence, that when one EDTA comes in contact with one metal ion, there is a formation of a more stable complex. This and that complex is in 1:1 proportion. This is about principle. Now second is theory. Theory of EDTA method. In this, we have to see that how this reaction occurs. So first of all, just we will write its abbreviations, like EDTA will be written just as a EDTA. Will not write the total structure of it. So this EDTA is there. First of all, we will have to use hard water, because from hard water we have to determine metal ions. So that's why this hard water is there. Will be treated first of all with EBT. Now this EBT is a iriochrome black tea. It's a dye, it's an indicator, and we know that indicator is just used to see the color change, to get understood that when the reaction will be totally completed. So iriochrome black tea is a blue colored indicator. It is having a clear blue color, though its name contains black word, but it's a blue colored indicator, and it is also in acidic nature. Its nature is acidic, just like EDTA, but it is somewhat weak acid. Now this acidic nature, due to this acidic nature, this EBT is used in this reaction. So here hard water. Now this in this hard water case, there is no direct reaction with the water, but there is a reaction with different type of salts in it, because it is a hard water. So salts like Ca or Mg ions having salts are there. So that's why we will write here Ca or Mg ions plus EBT, which is a blue colored indicator. And whenever the reaction is going on, there is a formation of this EBT and Ca or Mg type of ion. We'll consider Ca. Now this Ca, when treated with EBT, there is a formation of Ca EBT complex. Now as we know that EBT is blue colored indicator, but when it comes in contact with metal ions, it forms a complex, and that complex is wine red in color. So that's why as soon as we add this EBT in our water sample, there is a change of color, or from colorless to wine red. So the color of indicator is blue, but when it is added, it becomes wine red. But this complex which is already formed, it is unstable complex, not that much stable, because in this acidic type of EBT, there is a SO3H, that is sulfonic acid group is there, which is having only one H positive ion. So less number of H positive ion means it can be said that the less tendency to form the complex. So that's why it is a unstable complex. And then after that we have to introduce it with a EDTA. So EDTA will be added from the butyrate. We will see that afterwards. So whenever this EDTA comes in contact with this CaEBT, what will happen? This EDTA takes the place of EBT, while this EBT gets displaces from its place. So what will be the product of the reaction? Metal ion, we can write it as a CaEDTA, which is the most stable complex. Very stable complex, CaEDTA. Now the CaEDTA, it is a colorless complex. There is no color to this particular complex. So that's why when the Ca forms complex with EDTA, this EBT will be removed. And we know that EBT is of blue colored solution. So this colorless complex is now looking like a blue colored solution. So that's why whenever we carry out the procedure, we can see that color, whenever EDTA is added, color changes from wine red to blue. But the change, during that change, we can see that those number of EDTA molecules are added, that number of Ca positive ions are present in it. So from this we can understood that the complex which is formed is in 1:1 proportion, and that much molecules are present in our hard water sample. So this all is about the how reaction is going on, how the actual process is there of the reaction. So this all comes under the theory.